Fantasy football show, and boy, do I have a surprise for you. I've got these young chaps right here in the wing, waiting to debate top 10 QBs. Ari from the Fantasy Football Expert, Fantasy Couch is in the building. Fantasy Guides, Fantasy Football Lord, Rapper's down in the corner. Glad you have clothes on, Rapper. It's good to see your clothes for this episode. And then Guru at the top, and we've got IG peeping from the corner. Let's get into it, guys. I'll just kill the music. No intro needed. We're doing top 10 QBs, right? Is that right, guys?
Yep. Top 12 to 20.
Top 12 to 20? Okay.
See what happens after we hit 12.
Okay, let's get into it. So we're just going to start ranking them. We might talk about where we might have these guys in fantasy, as we're debating and ranting on them. But for the most part, we'll keep it to let's rank the top 10, top 12 QBs, and then we can talk about the guys that maybe missed the cut. Number one, does anybody object to Pat Mahomes? I think Lord's frozen as usual. he still doesn't have a good Wi-Fi connection, but that's okay.
He's Lamar number one in case his connection gets worse. I know he's got Lamar number one.
I think I'm going to ask. Keep smiling and stay frozen if you're for Mahomes.
No cheating. Sonny.
Everybody raise their hand if
cheating.
If they're for Pat Mahomes. For the number one QB spot. Raise your hand, Pat Mahomes. Nobody?
Oh, I'm surprised by that.
No, I'd give you like a kind of hand raise. Like I'm very close if it's 6 points for a passing touchdown.
I'm a little shocked, to be honest with you guys.
I'm actually kind of surprised by that too. I thought there'd be a few more.
I'm really shocked.
Well, Smitty, give us your.
Yeah, I guess I'm by myself here debating Pat Mahomes as the top quarterback. I'm a little thrown off right now. I mean, the bottom line is I get the Lamar argument. I love Lamar, and I'm still drafting Lamar way higher than probably all of you, except for maybe Lord, who just dropped off. His Wi-Fi connection completely gave up. But Lamar has a little bit of that injury risk because he's running over 170 times on the ground, which is going to put him at the risk we've seen strike Michael Vick and any other running quarterback that's run to that degree. So you have that injury risk. But bottom line is both Mahomes and Lamar are top 5 overall scorers in fantasy per start. But Mahomes, to me, feels safer. I know he had the injury. I've even got Dr. Raj here in the corner on IG. We talked about the knee. We're not concerned about the knee, any kind of issue with that kneecap popping back out or anything. And I think his bottom line, his floor for touchdowns thrown will be like 40 TDs thrown. And if he runs for 4 or 5, that's like a ceiling of 44, 45 TDs. And I do believe that he's capable of throwing for 50 TDs. Not just 40. You don't want to bank on that, but that upside's there. Lamar's got to do everything on the ground in order to compete with Mahomes, and he probably will for as many games as he starts and plays. But that just puts him a notch lower for me because of the injury factor, but I love both. Who wants to talk on Lamar and argue why Lamar's better than Mahomes and not like an even type thing?
Yeah, I can do it. I was doing a lot of research on it today, and I almost swung to Mahomes. However, I had to keep Lamar number one because of the rushing totals. I mean, this dude ran for over 1,200 yards last year. That's insane. That is insane for a quarterback to be running for that many yards. And to me, that's what keeps him as the number one overall QB. Mahomes is obviously a better passer, going to throw for a lot more yards. And next year, I believe he'll throw for more touchdowns as well, where last year Lamar had him beat there too. So I think the gap will definitely close this year. Mahomes will be very close. It'll be like a 1A, 1B type thing. But I'd still have to go with Lamar as my 1A because of that just insane rushing ability. There's just no one else out there that can do that.
Couch, what do you think?
Why I gotta have Lamar number one is because I've seen him when I see him throw the ball last year. He's a pretty good passer, and there was a lot of like jaw-dropping misses, like just by inches. And just to think, like, how many games has Lamar started? Like 20, whatever it is. It's not a lot. And the fact that he has a real good shot at improving as a passer. And then you say the injury risk, which I agree with Smitty on the injury risk, but not as big of a factor. Because when I see Mike Vick in a Falcons uniform, it's just really not the same as when I see Lamar Jackson. Like, it's just not the same type of quarterback. Maybe Vic that 1 year on the Eagles, like he wasn't the same quarterback when he didn't really study the playbook and would run around and throw to whoever Algie Crumple, whoever the tight end was, I forget on the Falcons.
So what about Dynasty though, Couch? Do you think differently in Dynasty because of that injury factor and the fact that it will catch up to him, all the running he's doing eventually? You don't think it's going to catch up to him in 2020, and I appreciate that angle, but in Dynasty, is it Mahomes clear cut at that point?
I'd take a risk and go with Lamar and if it's 4 points passing touchdowns, but if it's 6 points, I might hop on the Smitty bandwagon because in Dynasty you got yourself a starter for 15 years and it's not as scary. Lamar Jackson's kind of like something we've never seen before, so people are gonna, I think, naturally be a little intimidated. So there's a little bit of that risk factor, but I'm still gonna go Lamar Jackson in Dynasty. I just got to do it with the rushing stats.
Okay,
well, hell, you just rarely keep a guy for more than a few years. I'm only looking like 3 years out in Dynasty. I'm not looking.
Well, quarterback.
Mahomes is a decade.
Mahomes, Lamar. I have Mahomes in Dynasty. I'm planning on having this man. For my 40th birthday, 50th birthday, coming over. Eating some ketchup.
3 years ago, or about 5 years ago, I thought the same thing with Andrew Luck. I thought I'd have him for 15 years.
This is true.
So.
I think Mahomes is like literally a 10-year guarantee, as much as you can have a guarantee in fantasy football, but like a 10-year guarantee of being like top 10 overall value to you. Like, to me, I think it's crazy he doesn't have top 12, top 15 overall value in Dynasty. Given it's Dynasty, you have this guy forever almost. But Rapper, you look confused or upset. I don't know if it's because you have your clothes on, but tell us what you're feeling. Are you
it's just Lamar and Pat Mahomes. I'm ready for the good stuff. Everybody's got them, first and second. I'll go with Lamar. I love Mahomes, but you have a guy that was a top rusher, 1,200 yards, like Guru said. It's not even close. There's a little bit of injury risk. I do agree it's more of a risk in Dynasty. I would actually pick Mahomes in Dynasty. Probably.
Okay.
I think Guides brings up a good point. I only think 3 years down the road in fantasy too. I don't think 10, 15 years. I don't know. I think maybe I could get bored before then. So, but yeah, Ari is still Lamar.
Okay, Lord and then Ari on this Mahomes Lamar debate.
I'm kind of with Rapper. I'm ready for the good stuff. However, the whole injury risk thing with Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes has been in the league 1 year before Lamar, right? Lamar hasn't missed any time yet. Patrick Mahomes has. Lamar Jackson hasn't missed a game since his freshman year in college. So, he's running a lot, but they're not getting good hits on him. They used to get good hits on Michael Vick. They're not getting those type of hits on Lamar Jackson. So until he does get hurt, I'm drafting like I'm ready.
Here goes the Wi-Fi. We knew he wouldn't finish, but Rapper, Ari, are you still there, Lord?
Not really.
Okay, he's frozen.
Yeah.
What happens is I've gotten to know his Wi-Fi, and basically when he starts to fade, he freezes for about 15 seconds after, and then he comes back. So, Lord, you're back. Last sentence on what you were saying, and then we'll go to Ari.
Oh, I was just saying, like, the kid, he ain't missed a game since his freshman year, 2015. So, until he gets hurt, I'm not going into the game worrying about him getting hurt. They don't get good shots on him like they did Michael Vick back in the day. So I'm going to draft him with confidence. And, hell, any player could get hurt. Pat Mahomes this time. So,
Ari.
I want to counter that real quick. You said he doesn't take a lot of good hits, but the scary injuries are usually not from hits. They're usually non-contact injuries. So
I agree.
That's the
Can you predict that though? Deshaun Watson.
Well, yeah, I know you can't predict that, but I do think, the more times you run it, you can just pop.
Yeah, well, I think with quarterbacks, though, you do find that it's the wear and tear of it, not just one hit. It's the fact that he's running 170 times. That's going to add up for Lamar and create potentially other problems that he's susceptible to. So, Ari.
No, yeah, I'm with Lord here. I mean, obviously you expect regression coming off the historic year last year, but I listened to it, and even if you take away 500 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground from him last year, he still would have been number 1, and that's with him playing 15 games versus Prescott playing 16, who was number 2 quarterback. So it's like with McCaffrey for me, where even when you expect regression coming off the historic year last year, he finished at such a high level last year that I still can't in redraft I can't take him out of number 1, but I definitely think, Mahomes is going to throw for more yards and touchdowns, but I think even if you put Jackson 700, 800 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns, that's still going to give you that edge every week, and stay on the floor as a runner.
So who has Lamar in Dynasty higher than Mahomes? Raise your hand. So we have 2 votes. We have 3, 3, 4. Oh, okay. You did switch over. Okay, so 4. That's still shocking to me. I get the redraft one a little more, but I can't believe that 4 people in here actually have Mahomes number 2. And again, I love Lamar, guys. I love Lamar, and I'm huge on Hollywood Brown. You probably saw the hype I've been throwing at Hollywood Brown. I know Lord loves Hollywood Brown. I think this is going to be an amazing year for the Ravens, and so I'm all on board. I just can't believe in Dynasty we're talking about Mahomes not being the top quarterback. But hey, that's why we play the game, and the arguments they're sound. I understand them, but and like Lord and like Rapper said, it's Lamar and Mahomes. They're both elite. The real debate's going to be here at 3.
So final question: is the Madden curse real or fake?
Well, he did get hurt.
It's 60% real.
Yeah, that's going to be a TBA thing. Okay, so number 3 is going to be the heavy debate. Maybe not. Maybe we're all in agreement. I'm going to toss out Kyler Murray and say he's my number 3. And before he got DeAndre Hopkins on roster, he was number 4. So after the news broke, I'm in Arizona, obviously, but I'm not a homer. I'm very objective about this stuff. And I ran to my computer, even though I, subconsciously knew that I've got Kyler already 4, which was really, really high to a lot of people. I could only move him up 1 spot, and everybody else is jumping him up 4 and 5 spots. Who here had Kyler Murray that high, or does now, before the Hopkins? So, Rapper, I know you're high on him. Ari, where is Kyler Murray 3 for you right now? Raise your hand if it's Kyler Murray number 3. Okay. That's going to be enough to vote unless you guys sway us. Guru, let's start with you. Why not Kyler Murray? Or who's your...
Dak Prescott. That's who I have at number 3.
Arguable.
So yeah, I think the reason I have Dak 3 is because of the way he threw last year. He threw for an insane amount of yards. His passing yardage spiked big time last season, and I think that's legit. I believe that's the real deal, especially now that Mike McCarthy's in town. They're going to throw the ball a lot. They've already come out and said we're going to throw a lot, and then with CD Lamb there, it's 3 stud wideouts: Amari, Gallup, and CD's only a rookie, but I think he'll do pretty well his rookie season. And they've got Zeke as well, so they won't be able to just focus in on the passing attack. So I think Dak's going to be unleashed this year, and he's on a contract year to top it all. So that's why he's my number 3.
Okay, guys, fantasy guys, what are you thinking here with Dak? Because you said Dak, right?
Well, so Smitty, when you said that once they they traded for Hopkins, you moved him up to 3. I had Murray there as well, but then I kind of put Dak ahead of him after the draft, just getting Lamb. So I think it's just that little bit. I just like the overall offense a little bit better with Dak. He's got maybe not the same rushing upside as Murray, but he has rushing upside on himself. He's got, they were the 10th in passing attempts last year. I don't think that's going to change a ton. I just think the offense overall is going to be better. He's probably going to throw for more touchdowns and rush for more. Not rush for more, sorry, but rush for enough.
I think the appeal's there for me with Dak, but I don't think I could possibly rank him 3rd with even over Russell Wilson. To me, I like Dak a lot. I feel like he's got the upside to deliver top 5 QB numbers. I think that's something that maybe top 3 you don't count on, in my opinion. And
well, he was 2 last year, and I mean, and that was with Randall Cobb. I don't know. I think just
I hear you.
Another year with Amari, and now getting CeeDee Lamb added to it was arguably the best receiver out of this draft class. I don't know. I get your argument. I think Murray, I don't have any problem putting him ahead of Dak, but we've seen Dak do it already.
Murray loves to throw to outside the pocket, but wasn't too accurate last year. But Hopkins is I think number 1 or number 2 wide receiver catching the football with his quarterback outside the pocket. So I'm really excited about this marriage, and I think it's gonna line up their strengths well. And the Cardinals are just set to explode. Not that the Cowboys, won't. And I like Dak. I love CeeDee Lamb. I think in Dynasty, I'm getting a weird. We all as experts need to digest this stuff. Like, people expect us not to change our minds or after the draft have different revelations. Yeah, we are human beings too.
When new information comes, you reserve the right, and you should change your mind when you're presented.
Absolutely.
And I'm starting to get excited about CeeDee Lamb and watching him work out, and just, I don't know. I feel like it's really going to be. He's going to translate, and he's going to translate fast. And I think within 1 year, even 1 calendar year, he will be ahead of Amari Cooper in everyone's mind in terms of who you draft as the top wide receiver for the Cowboys. So, Rapper, any thoughts on Dak versus Kyler, or what you're thinking here?
Honestly, for me, this might be one that I will change my mind, or possibly. And the reason I'm saying that is, we talk about Lamar's injury risk, but I think Kyler's got a bigger injury risk because he's smaller. He was already injured last year. So I am a little more worried. I think Dak is a lot safer than Kyler, but I think Kyler has more upside because he'll have him beat by quite a bit in the running category, only because Dak has so many weapons to throw to, and you got Zeke, and you got another passing coach in Mike McCarthy to add with Kellen Moore. So I might even end up changing my mind to Dak, but that's what I'm saying. It's really, really close right now. And anybody that thinks Dak should be lower than 3 or 4, I mean, like you guys said, he was 2 last year, and his situation only got better. I just think he has that reputation. On the flip side, Dak is a little bit inconsistent. He tends to fold in big games, which is a big concern for me as well. I think Murray's got a safer floor, but there's a little more injury risk.
And the Cowboys were kind of in shambles at times last year, and that made them have to throw the football more and all that. So you got to wonder if a very potent offense is going to either help him or hurt him or make him just the same. Who knows? But Couch, what are you thinking on Dak versus Kyler?
I'm pretty much in agreement with a lot going on. I'm trying to, anticipate where I'm going to throw my punch, and that's why to go with a more risky, more upside Kyler Murray in anticipation that, Cliff, the coach, Cliff Kingsbury, and Kyler can put it together, and just going for upside. I think one thing all of us will agree on is that tier 1 is Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, and then we got tier 2 right here at number 3. I mean, if someone doesn't agree, let me know.
No,
but
I agree.
I think we'll all agree with that. It's close between those first 2, and then there's just so many dang quarterbacks after that.
So am I being presumptuous here to say that you guys are probably going to vote Dak in at the 4? So should we go Lamar, Mahomes, Kyler, Dak, or is someone going to step in and say Russell Wilson or Watson?
I mean, we got 7 minutes left on this thing.
Yeah.
We're going to have to switch or do whatever we do. But is there a lot of leagues going on in week 17?
What?
No, right?
No. What's your getting at?
Well, after 16 weeks, Deshaun Watson was number 2. So that's my number 3.
He doesn't have Hopkins anymore.
He don't have Hopkins, but is he still a hell of a quarterback though?
He's still a beast. I'm a little surprised you got him as high as 3, but yeah, he's gonna be.
I think he could be in that tier though, Lord.
Yeah,
I feel like he doesn't have you had Hopkins, right? He had Hopkins, so now he doesn't have that true number 1 receiver no more. He don't have to worry about throwing the game-winning pass to DeAndre Hopkins. He got 3 okay wide receivers. If Will Fuller ever play more than half a season, he's really good. But he's
Not
got
gonna happen. Oh,
Oh,
Is he going?
Lord's freezing. Okay, well, I'll say this on Watson here. When push comes to shove, so I'm on rankings, I am a little cautious sometimes to put him at 3 or 4, but I end up putting him 4 most times. I put Kyler at 3, Watson 4. But when push comes to shove, I feel pretty darn good when he's my quarterback drafted. And even if I reach a little bit, like if I reach in the high 5th round or late 5th round, and people are like, "Oh, you're taking him too early," and I just don't like the other options, I'll go Watson, and I feel pretty damn good about it. So for me, he's my number 4. I'd rather put him 4 than Dak 4, but because we had 2 people adamant about Dak, or 2 or 3, I think he's 4th, right? Or do you guys want to vote on it?
Honestly, for me, I would put Josh Allen over Deshaun Watson.
Okay, well, we'll get to that point. Is everybody in agreement with Dak 4, Watson 5 then?
Yeah, I jumped the gun. My bad.
I think so. I
Okay.
think we're Smitty. I think we're good with that.
Okay, so
I do.
Dak 4. I don't like Dak 4, but I mean I'm pretty sure by the fact that you guys were arguing him 3 that we're gonna have a tough time getting him any later than that. So I'll put Watson 4. And do we want a tier break here? So do we have Lamar, Mahomes, tier break, Kyler, Dak, Watson, tier break, or do we put Wilson in here?
Russell Wilson. I feel like Russell Wilson
Okay.
should be in this tier as well.
Yes, this tier is extended for me as well by a guy Rapper mentioned and maybe a couple other guys too.
I'm really high on somebody here, but I'll let you.
But are they in this tier or are they at the top of the next tier? Like, do we literally have Kyler down to Josh Allen in this tier, or are we putting Kyler, Dak, Watson, Wilson, tier break, all the guys that have the potential to be in that top or that second tier in tier 3?
Yeah, that's how I have it. I actually was doing tiers today, and yeah, my tier 2 was those 4: Dak, Kyler, Russ, and Watson.
I like that. Not as much Russ, but I like those 3.
Are you guys okay with Watson 5, Wilson 6 then? And then
I got Wilson 5, Watson 6. I mean, yeah, it's right there. So
I got Wilson ahead of Deshaun Watson.
Okay, so I
I'm
think
gonna be in the minority here. I got Tom Brady at 6.
and I don't hate that. Let me just say that because you're probably gonna get half the people in here that don't like it, but I don't.
How are we gonna rank these? Because we're gonna have like no agreements from here on.
Yeah,
But we're gonna be close though. But like, how are we gonna ever rank these?
I'm gonna use my judgment here on screen and just kind of get the feel, but
We trust you.
yeah, I'm gonna try. I mean, I put Lamar without question at 1. I didn't. I'm gonna definitely do it based on what you guys say. Let me get Wilson in here.
yeah, we might have to create a new call because it's about to run out.
Well, why didn't it run out last time?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
But this warning wasn't there last time.
Yeah, I have no idea why.
if it does, just send me it in an email and I'll just keep going with the live and then I'll jump in.
Can you create like the email right now, Ari, with our
Yeah.
the 7 of our emails, just so you have it ready to go?
I'll see if I can do it while we're on this call.
Cool. Thanks,
Or
man.
at least have like the email ready to go, like the 2.
Yeah.
So Lamar, Mahomes, Kyler, Dak, Wilson, Watson. Are we tier breaking it there? And then saying like the Josh Allen's, the players that you guys like Brady are the 3rd tier but capable of being tier 2 quarterbacks, or what are you guys thinking?
Yeah, I got a
That's
couple
what I
more
think.
in my tier 2. I got Josh Allen in tier 2, Wilson, Brady, and Watson in tier 2.
Okay. Well, let's just start debating it when we can worry about the tiers later. So who's next? After Watson, Wilson, Dak, Kyler, who wants to toss out the first name and debate it?
Yeah, the guy I got after those 6 is Drew Brees. I have Drew Brees at number 7. And last season, on a per-game basis, Brees was right up there with the elite quarterbacks. He missed a few games. He had the fluky thumb injury. But on a per-game basis, Drew Brees was still an elite quarterback. I get it. Age is a concern, but it's the same thing with Tom Brady. And I feel like the good thing with Brees is the way he finished down the stretch. He didn't show any signs of decline. And that's what really impressed me. And his touchdown rate was really high. Might regress a little bit. However, I still think he'll throw for well over 4,000 yards, going to throw 30 or more touchdowns. And the other concern is the rushing. He doesn't run, but he's still got that just insane passing ability, most accurate passer in the NFL. Upgraded supporting cast now at Emmanuel Sanders. So I believe probably be his last season. He's going to go out with a bang, and that's why I have him at number 7.
Homer.
Oh, come.
That's what I was thinking
Can I
too.
talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go, Kev.
I love Brees, so no argument against Brees, but I prefer Josh Allen because in fantasy, rushing stats just absolutely kill it. Brees, one of the best quarterbacks ever to play. And I mean, he's underrated, if anything. And I think everyone, knows that already. That's how good he is. But you got, I've had Brees last year, and then I see Taysom Hill come in, score 3 touchdowns. It pisses me off. And Brees is going to be amazing. But you got Josh Allen who scores 7, 8, 9 rushing touchdowns. He's like Taysom Hill. And he is Taysom Hill and a quarterback at the same time. He's a vulture. And man, if you just put up the stats, like how the Warriors, once they started shooting threes, they're like, oh, we can start shooting threes and it's going to add up to more points if you drain some of them. Just like that with rushing stats. If you rush it, get a ton
Okay,
of
Ari,
I just sent the link to everybody. So
okay.
Josh Allen.
Okay, we'll back out, guys, and then come back into the new link. All right. So I'm going to quit this meeting and jump in the next one. So hang tight for me, guys, while I do that. But so far, we're getting a nice little heated debate over here. And the thing that I think is crazy is that these quarterbacks are all so close right here. Like, I literally feel like, and I'll say this in a second when the other guys get in here. Let me jump in, get this other call going. What's up, fellas? Welcome back. Okay, what I was about to say here.
So Josh Allen is where are we at? Whatever we're at.
Well, and you got to also mention that he added Diggs to his weaponry.
Oh yeah, that doesn't do much, but it's a little bonus.
That is a little something, if I've ever heard of it.
Whatever, he did it with John Brown, and
Here's the thing.
Knox. Yeah, that's all.
Well, no, I'm supporting you. I'm giving.
No,
you
I know. I'm just
more
being
support.
sorry. Yeah, I know. Diggs is the big one. Like that's what pushes me over to rank him so high.
And here's the thing about this situation that's so crazy to me is like once you get to Kyler, even like number 3, Brees, Brady, I almost like those guys as much as anybody in tier 2. And it extends all the way to Josh Allen. It extends all the way to Tom Brady. Literally. So I am the guy that defends the early QB approach with Lamar and Mahomes. But past that, I'm so okay with going Brees in round 7 or 8. If he falls that far, Aaron Rodgers is not done. I can't wait to draft him in a lot of leagues at 8th and 9th round value, even if I could pair him with a Brees and have a duo there to protect myself and not spend any early capital on a quarterback. But it's so hard to rank 3 to 10. So, Rapper, you like Allen here?
I was just thinking I might even have Allen as my 3rd quarterback.
Woo!
So,
That's a hot take.
I mean, it's really not that hot if you think about it. Like, what was Allen, top 5 last year? And now he just, like Couch said, got Stephon Diggs. He runs. He's going to be coming into his pivotal 3rd year. Watson takes a lot of hits, just lost DeAndre. Dak's inconsistent. Kyler hasn't done it yet. Like, it's really not that crazy to put Josh Allen at 3, to be honest.
And you get him at great value if you have him as high as 3, 4, 5. Even though he's kind of being drafted early, some leagues, you'll still get great value. Like you can take him at a very comfortable, like what, round 7, something.
Well, on a points per game basis, he was a QB 10. So he was really good. I love Allen, and I don't have a strong argument for him not being, at 6. I guess 3 for me just feels a little bit too rich for my blood. Because I do think he's not the best decision maker, and I think he could, if those rushing touchdowns drop at all, even by half, that could make a big difference in where he finishes out on the season. But I still really like him, having said all that.
Yeah, that's a good point about the rushing touchdowns. I definitely see those going down some. However, I think he'll improve enough as a passer to still be a top 8 and possibly top 7 quarterback. And since I know a lot of people in here like Rapper are really high on him, so I mean, to me, I'd say we can just pencil him in at number 7.
What player?
Allen.
Allen?
We had Watson and Wilson 5 and 6.
Okay, I can put him here at 7.
We can do whatever to
I'm
get
fine.
the rankings going.
I'm
Okay.
fine with that.
Allen. Okay, so who's going to debate number 8? Brady? Is it
For 7.
Brees?
I got Brady.
They threw Brees out there.
I got Brady.
Brady.
Brees, Matt Ryan maybe, but
We already did Russell Wilson, right? So if that's the case, I got Brady.
Okay, then I think we're in agreement that Brady's 7 because that's like 3 or 4 of us already. So, wow, yeah, that's so we got Lamar, Mahomes, Kyler, Dak, Wilson, Watson, Allen, Brady. That's what we're looking at.
who was I haven't really heard any compelling Brady arguments though. I mean,
So-
Brady?
Godwin, Evans.
I got a few.
Go pass.
I got a number of them if you need them.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
Bruce Arians.
Just the Bruce Arians doesn't like to run the football. They pass pretty much more than any team. Winston, and he was tied with Goff for the most pass attempts in the league last year. It's kind of always been the case with Arians. He's done. I mean, Carson Palmer was the QB4, like 2015. Brady's just he had no weapons last year. He was still a QB12.
Yeah.
And just looking at red zone attempts, I mean, we all know about Winston's interceptions. Brady had 26 more red zone attempts than Winston did last year on that team with just half the talent that Winston had. So I just think the touchdowns are going to go up. Brady had one of his lowest touchdown rates in his career. I think that's going to go up. I think the attempts are going to be pretty high. Yeah, I'm all aboard Brady this year.
Just one quick thing. When you say Arians likes to pass it, I think that's a bit of an understatement because he not only passes it, but likes to chuck it down, likes to run vertical routes. We're not talking about mid-tier Alex Smith, last 2 years Derek Carr type of passing.
And what I love is when people
chucking
act
it.
like Gronk isn't going to be utilized. This is Brady. It's going to be I get it if like Bridgewater landed in Tampa Bay. He probably have no control over the tight end usage, but Brady will. Brady got Gronk traded there. Brady's going to use him early and often, and I know this is going to be a hot debate. We can segue into it real quick and back out, but I think Gronk is one of the most debated players right now to rank, and I think he's 6-7 out of all tight ends for 2020.
Oh my God! And I have an internal debate, but I can't rank him that high.
And I know a lot of people don't even have him top 10, so it's a crazy debate. Lord's back. What's up, Lord? Rapper's shaking his head. Give us a quick take on why Gronk can't be a top 6-7 tight end in 2020, Rapper.
He hasn't been that in a couple of years. That's number one. You're going to boost Arians' offense. Brady is going to have a lot of control. He's going to be able to call plays and audibles, but you still got Mike Evans. You still got Chris Godwin. You still got Ronald Jones. You still got Cameron Brady. You still got O.J. Howard. You still got – I mean, there's only so many footballs. And do I think Gronk could be a red zone guy? Yes, absolutely. But, I mean, 6-7, I guarantee I'll put any amount of money. He will not be anywhere close.
So everybody below Ertz. So if you have Kelsey, Kittle, Andrews, Waller, Ertz. After the top 5, those are my top 5. I like Fant a lot. I know Rapper likes Fant. I think you'd easily argue Fant there if you want. But every single tight end after that point has as many question marks as Gronk, in my opinion.
Hayden Hurst, Mike Gesicki, I would take those all day over Gronk.
I would take Gronk easily over him. But, hey, that's why we play, and it's debatable for sure. Did Lord drop off again? Somebody send Lord me a super chat to give to Lord for Wi-Fi.
He's like Brett Favre, hopping in, hopping out, doing a Gillette commercial, hopping in.
Yeah, he comes and goes. He's the Lord. But okay. So get back on topic. So we have Brady at 8. Who we going with at 9?
I have Brees at 9.
I got Brees as well.
Okay.
Good deal. Number 9 and 9. Good deal.
Okay, so Brees 9. Let me put that in. We're still in tier 2.
No.
Tier 3.
I mean, it's debatable.
I don't think we made a tier break though.
I think I'm gonna have to squeeze Breeze in this tier. I do like him.
But are we in tier 2?
I'm in tier 2 still.
I'm in tier 2 as well.
Some people may have left tier 2 land.
This
I'm
is
in tier
crazy.
2.
Like, our tier 2 is basically saying if you wait on a quarterback past Mahomes and Lamar, you're getting the same quarterback, or you're getting somebody very,
no,
very close.
similar, just similar.
Yeah.
It's just the same type of, same type of cookies in the
And I feel that way.
Maybe a cookie's bigger, maybe one has more chocolate chips.
I like Breeze as much as I like anybody from 4 to 9. Like, I love Brady as much as I like anybody from 4 to 9. Ari, what you
I was just gonna say that like I love Brady and Breeze, but like when it comes to like rushing, they're also gonna be limited in rushing, so that's why I have them in tier 3, and then guys like Allen, Watson, Wilson, Dak, and Murray, and they're on in tier 2.
Okay.
Wait, Smitty's not gonna argue if you draft Taysom Hill and Breeze and combine them, something magical will happen.
Is that something you expect?
No, I'm just messing. Because when you said that last time, only about 2-3 people like fully understood what you were saying, and then
yeah, no, I tell people
else was like gross.
I tell people in a 2 QB league, if you're in a 2 QB league like 16, 14 teams, Taysom Hill becomes a guy you talk about at that point because he gets touchdowns. But no, past that, I mean, no, he's not a guy I own at all in a regular 1 QB league. Taysom Hill.
Ari, I got a question. So
Yeah.
you said you because of the rushing upside, you've got a separate tier break there. Breeze averaged about 2.5 points per game more than Josh Allen last year. So I guess I wouldn't fault you for saying or disagree with you for having Allen higher. But as far as a tier break goes, do you think it's significant enough to?
No, I don't think it's like significant, but I do think that Allen takes a step forward as a passer with Diggs coming in, and I think like he'll take a step back like from the 9 rushing touchdowns, but I still think he's gonna offer you a safe enough floor where I have him I'd say just high enough to where there is a slight tier break for me.
And Allen's got like I think the second. I mean, you could say Mahomes got the biggest cannon in the league. And Stafford's getting older, so you can't throw him in there anymore. Rodgers getting older, but I think Allen legitimately probably has the second strongest arm in the entire NFL. And he's only.
I thought he had the strongest.
He could, and he might be getting stronger, and better and quicker and all that. So I think there's room for him to get a lot better as a passer. So I like Josh Allen a lot. I do,
yeah.
and he was on my bold predictions last year. I only crank out 12, so I obviously like him. But
I guess I'm just arguing where I think there's not as much like as far as a tier break goes.
Yeah, and I don't have a tier break yet. Like okay. Kyler, I could put Kyler in. I could argue Kyler, Watson, and Wilson in a tier break, but I love Breeze at 8. I love Breeze at 6, at 9.
I really think the only argument to break the tier is really Taysom Hill, who, it's only been a few games, but as a Breeze owner, like I said, when I see that guy take the field, I am worried and I get scared, and it's just enough to scare people. But yeah, like Guides just said, I mean, like he was better per game. I can trust him. Emmanuel Sanders, I think he'll be okay. Maybe he won't do much, but it adds a weapon at least that the defenses might have to consider. So I mean, just look at Breeze. Like 2 years ago, he only had 1 or 2 weapons, and so now at least he has Jared Cook and Sanders is there and a couple other receivers behind there. At least it's better.
Okay.
So I do like him as a passer.
Rapper, we've been waiting long enough for this. It's time to throw Danny Dimes in here and get him in this conversation. Danny Dimes could be number 6 or 5 in my book.
Danny fumbles.
Rapper?
That was dumb.
Man. I think I would take Danny Dimes all day over Breeze. Like it's not even close.
Oh jeez.
Taysom Hill, they didn't pay this guy $16 million just to tickle Breeze's feet. Like Taysom Hill, and then just the fact they have Winston. I don't like knowing that my starters got 2 awesome backups behind him. He's older. Like I'm just not feeling Breeze at all. So yeah, Daniel Jones definitely should be here. It's not even close. Like who would you? Matt Ryan? Like
I love Daniel Jones at 10. I feel like it's not justified to have him even this late. I feel like he should have been earlier, but it's easy to argue everybody we've talked about. So, but Danny Dimes for me. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, I love Danny Dimes. I actually have a hot take for y'all. I actually have Danny Dimes above Tom Brady in my rankings. I have Danny Dimes as QB 11 and Tom Brady as QB 12.
I got him at, I think, on my ranking 6. So I love Danny Dimes.
You
I
just don't
my
like you don't like the
God.
Bucks.
Where do you have Danny Dimes, rapper? What number?
If I had to put a guesstimate right now, probably in that set. Because if I got Murray 3, Dak, Russell, Watson, I guess I don't feel great about Allen. So 4 after that is 7. So I guess I would have him 8 or 9.
6 is like ridiculous.
I don't think so. I mean,
it's totally ridiculous.
I think let's see, hold on. Maybe it's more like 7. Kyler, Watson, Wilson, Prescott.
What happened there that makes him jump that high from what he was doing last year?
Great O-line, great receivers. He stops fumbling. I mean, there's just so many like risks, like to put him at 6 above like Hall of Famers or guys that are just like way more proven to put up fantasy.
I guess I'm also thinking.
Like
I guess
7 times.
you guys got to also remember. I think a lot of dynasty and keeper mentality too. Like if we're talking just redraft, yeah, I could be on board with him more like the 9 or 10 range. But if we are talking a mixture of both, or we're talking about dynasty, 6 to 7 for me. If we're talking redraft, I will amend that and say yeah, more like 8 or 9. But I think
we gotta stick to like redraft.
I know. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm taking Jameis Winston late in dynasty.
Yeah.
You know, like
I sometimes lean more with long term stuff when I'm doing these kind of topics. So my bad.
I do the same thing.
I know. Most of my content, about 80% of it's dynasty, so I always have to reel myself back. So yeah, no, let me amend that because I'm looking at my own rankings right here. Redraft: Mahomes, Lamar, Kyler, Watson, Wilson, Dak. Then it's Brady, Rodgers, Danny Dimes. Like in
You're
that
gonna make
mix.
a clip out of this, the Smitty retreat.
Yeah. Well,
wait, are we dialing in the Dimes at?
Well, we had 2 okay, so we had 2 votes, so 3 votes. Did we have 3 votes here? If we had 3, then we have.
Okay.
I said Dimes here. Rapper said Dimes here, and who else said Dimes? Guru.
Guru did.
I would actually have Matt Ryan here, but
That's who I've got. I got Matt Ryan.
Okay, so we have a tie, then 3 and 3. I don't like Ryan here, but I can understand why. The weapons.
I feel like with Ryan, if I can defend him real quick, he always does the kind of the curve. He does the wave where it's like bad year, good year, bad year, good year. And last year his bad year was like his best bad year he's had. He's usually like drops off to like QB 15 or something. Last year he was the QB 12 on his bad year, so maybe that's not a good reason to put him up here. But he's just got the weapons. He on a per game basis threw more passes in the NFL than anybody. So I don't know. And they still got Dirk Cutter. I think he's just gonna throw it till his arm falls off, and he's got the receivers that can do stuff with it.
I get the argument. I just find myself bumping him out of 10. I mean, there's just so many good options that it's tough.
I got Aaron Rodgers here, but I'll do whatever to keep Danny Dimes out of the top 10. Whatever it takes. I'm in.
You know, he.
I don't hate him though. Like he's coming up soon. Like I like Danny Dimes. Don't get me wrong. There's just a lot of question marks or I say variables. That's all.
I mean,
I got to keep him out of the top 10.
He had a pretty good year at his learning year. Like I think.
Yeah, he was great. Like I liked him.
There's a lot of reason.
Just not top 10 for me.
Okay. Well, you guys good with Rodgers here?
They're not gonna like that. They're not gonna buy that. Come on.
And I think it's like arguable. That. I like Rodgers here.
I got Rodgers at 10 though. Yeah.
Who you guys want at 10?
I got Ryan. I think it's Ryan. It's
Ryan.
What rapper?
Stafford, I think I like Stafford more than Ryan. Stafford was on.
I got Stafford at 11, right behind. So.
I got Stafford right after Ryan.
Yeah, me too.
More consistent and better against tougher matchups. Like Ryan has a lot of those like letdown games, which I don't like those. And
the Lions are a letdown.
I just remember Stafford from 2 years ago, and it was brutal.
Corey in the YouTube chat says Dak or Wentz, who's better? Well, Wentz hasn't even been brought up yet. Dak's our 3-4, so clearly Dak, bro. Clearly Dak. Don't even consider Wentz over Dak. So what do we do?
Stafford, I mean, my concern with him was the back injury last year, and when someone injures their back, especially to the degree that he did, or he ended up missing half the season, it just makes me nervous. I mean, it makes me nervous that if he takes another big hit to his back, he might end up like Tony Romo and out of the league in a couple of years.
So
he'll retire. He could retire soon. Like,
Matt, let's vote between Matt Ryan, Danny Dimes, who we had 3 votes for, so clearly 3 of us like him. Matt Ryan, Danny Dimes, and who was the other?
Matt Ryan.
I think
Stafford.
Stafford.
I think
Okay.
Stafford.
So raise your hand if you want Stafford. Nobody. Okay. Raise your hand if you want Ryan. I think we're going to be 3-3, and then raise your hand if you want Danny Dimes.
You guys are smart. Keep Danny Dimes out.
All right.
Okay, so
it was 4 for Ryan.
It's
We have to
Ryan.
join forces anti-Danny Dimes.
So I don't think we got to go further than this. I think we could just debate some things if you guys want to. What about Locke?
Try to rank them, Smitty. Just rank them quick, like that. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to. Yeah,
Well,
I agree. We don't have to lock it in, but
I say we just
try to rank them.
I say we debate a few of these hot topics. So Lamar, Mahomes, Kyler, Dak are your top 4. Wilson, Watson, Allen are your 5 through 7. Tom Brady, Brees, and Matt Ryan finish out your top 10. I got them on screen here, but I think one of the guys, two players that are very, I guess, hot topics would be A-Rod and Drew Lock. Let's talk about Lock. Who's on board the Lock train in 2020? Who thinks he's potentially a top 10 to 15 quarterback?
I wouldn't rank him this high, but I do like him as, like, you know, a QB2 late, but I wouldn't consider him this early.
Anybody
I
else?
got him at 15. Like, it's close,
Okay.
but I
nobody's
prefer
super
Danny
high.
Dimes.
Okay, good.
I'm pretty far off on Locke.
Yeah, I'm feeling Baker Mayfield, and I should know because I believed in Baker last year. So I'm getting that Baker touchdown maker vibe or disappointment maker vibe out of Locke. That's just me. The weapons are there. He should deliver. Rapper, you don't like Locke, it sounds like.
No, I like Locke. But,
What's up, Raj?
I mean,
What's
I
up?
like Wentz. I actually made a mistake. I don't know if I like Wentz or even Danny Dimes. I mean, I understand their injury risk, but Wentz, I think that's so fat that he's like the most consistent QB1, like 60 or 70% of the games he plays is QB1. So I get the injury risk, but Wentz, and he's also a pretty mobile quarterback, and they got more weapons now. I think we're really sleeping on Wentz here, and to even consider Drew Lock over Wentz, that's just a crime.
Dr. Raj, welcome, man. Anybody that pops out to you that we've been talking about, you want to? Jimmy Garoppolo didn't make the top 10. I hate to tell you. Don't get mad at us.
I didn't think you guys would have him in the top 10. No comment.
So what do you think about this? Who's out of place in your opinion?
Let's go run down the list real quick.
Lamar, Mahomes. I know you're with me on Mahomes. Talk on that real quick.
I think Mahomes should be number 1, but it is what it is. You know, Lamar's got the rushing yards. I get it, but once they figure out how to stop him in the run game, he's not going to be as effective. He's still a great player, but I don't think he's number 1.
Does anybody think?
What else? So
Okay.
Lamar, Mahomes,
Kyler, Dak, Russell Wilson, Watson, Josh Allen, Brady, Brees, Ryan. No A-Rod, no Danny Dimes, no Stafford. We're kind of no Drew Lock. We've been debating that. Anybody you think's missing?
No, I mean I think that's reasonable. I think let's say Josh Allen was what number was Josh Allen?
7.
And then who was 6?
Watson and then Wilson above him.
Yeah, that's reasonable. I think Dak's a little too high, but we'll see.
We
he has the weapons.
We had a big
weapons, but
we had a big debate on that. The fact that he was like 2-3 last year.
New coaching staff, you know, he can put it together. I don't know. I don't think Dak is.
I got a real question for Dr. Raj. Where'd you go? Oh, is Carson Wentz injury prone in your opinion?
Well, I think he is actually. I really do. I think he is, but you know, he came off that ACL. He was a little immobile. Just same thing as Jimmy Garoppolo. You know, same thing. Is they're gonna probably say the same thing with Jimmy. Is he injury prone? He hasn't got injured yet. Wentz, after he came back from an injury, he kind of had some issues here and there. And you know, they play a little different style, and Wentz is taking some big hits here and there. I think Wentz is more injury prone than most of those guys up on the top. And that's the thing. This is a big year for Wentz. If he can step up, and prove that he can finish a whole season, you know, then he can shed that label. But right now, I think he is injury prone, you know. Not just because he tore the ACL, but he's got some other minor things here and there. He kind of plays he's kind of like the modern day Ben Roethlisberger to me. Where Ben, you know, was always getting banged up, and he tried to play through these injuries. And I kind of see Wentz in that mold, you know. He's pretty tough. And when they had Nick Foles, they were like, oh, okay, we can just put him on the bench and put Foles in. But now they don't have that luxury. So I think he's going to take some big hits.
So we're talking about Locke, in the fact that I'm not sold on Locke. I just feel a little Baker feel.
I got Baker vibes.
What do you guys think of Bridgewater? What do you guys think of Tyrod Taylor? What do you think of Gardner Minshew? What do you think of Ben Roethlisberger, Joe Burrow, Tannehill? Anybody down that range? Do you feel what Rapper? Go ahead. Do you feel like those guys could creep up into the top 15, top 12? Rapper?
Okay, I got one for you. I actually do like Teddy Bridgewater.
Okay.
Here's why. You see, Carolina's defense, they don't have one. So they're in a division where they're going to put up a lot of points. Teddy Bridgewater was actually, even though it's a small sample size, 5 games, he was a top 12 quarterback points per game in those 5 starts. And he's got weapons, and he's got Matt Rule, who I like. Matt Rule, sorry, the LSU
Joe Brady.
DMC, there you go. DMC, DJ Moore, Tony Samuel, Robbie Anderson.
We're having a little audio problems there.
Playing from behind. So I think Teddy Bridgewater is a sneaky sleeper. I'm not saying he's going to finish top 12, but I think it's very possible. I think, either him, Stafford, Drew Lock, Ben Roethlisberger is a name that people haven't mentioned as people QB1 when he's healthy.
Yeah.
Like all that guys, you could put them in a pot, take one out. I think those guys could even be just as good, if not better than Matt Ryan.
So who wants to talk about Minshew?
I actually don't mind Minshew, not this high.
Ari next. Yeah, go ahead. No, Sky. Ari's gonna go after you guys. Go ahead.
I just like him because it's a terrible defense, possibly the worst defense in the league. So they're going to be throwing a lot. And he actually had 366 rushing yards last year. So he has a decent rushing floor where he adds about 2 to 3 points per game just on his rushing. I don't think he has a ton of upside. I don't think he's like a ceiling play, but like as a safe kind of second quarterback, if you're doing 2 late quarterbacks, I think I don't mind him in the like close to 15 range.
Yeah, Ari?
Yeah, like Guy said, their defense is awful. I think obviously we saw what Shark did last year, and I think Chenault coming in as a rookie will complement him well on the outside. I mean, there are some injury concerns with Chenault, but I mean, if he can stay healthy, I think he can be a good complement. And then they brought in Chris Thompson to be a good pass catching back. And then obviously Fournette, I mean, assuming right now he's on the team, obviously that's still to be determined, but if he is on the team, he did really well in the passing game last year. And it just comes down to, I mean, there were some like inconsistency with him last year, but I mean, as a 6th-round rookie, that's what you'd expect. I think heading into year 2, he has like Mike Lennon behind him now, so there's not much competition. Still have a full, or at least as full an offseason as you can have, given what's going on, work with the team. I mean, I have him at 20, so I don't like love him by any means, but like. More so in like 2 QB leagues, I like him as like a low QB. I was like a QB2 in 2 QB leagues.
Who raise your hand if you? And I know it's gonna be probably just me, maybe Raj. Raise your hand if you would take Lamar or Mahomes in even the very end of the 2nd round.
Yeah, I'm trying to go.
Okay, so I feel like we were completely nowhere near that on the last debate that we did, but I feel like you guys weren't. You want Mahomes in the first top 24. So, Ari, have you changed a little bit?
No, I had Mahomes at like 25, so like right there.
Okay. I'd take Mahomes as high as 15, 16. No question about it. It depends on who falls. Like, if I love the running back options there, then I'm doing the late quarterback approach that we've been talking about where, Brady and Brees are falling super far. But if I don't like the options there, and I'm not drafting a Fournette, I'm not drafting a player I don't believe in, I'm going to draft a guy that, especially if it's Dynasty, I know we're talking redraft, but I take a guy that's literally going to carry me every single week. And if you have, let's say, Zeke Elliott or Mike Thomas at, let's call it Zeke at number 4 or wherever, you get Zeke. Zeke falls around 3 to 4. And then you get Mahomes, let's say, a little bit past the middle of the 2nd round. Those are 2 horses, man, that are going to carry you on a weekly basis. I don't understand how it's that big of a. I know we talk about this all the time, but where's the earliest you guys even draft a QB, and what QB are you targeting? Because if you're not going to go QB early, you're never going to own those guys. So what QB are you targeting? Is it Wilson, and where are you targeting him? Like, what QBs are you guys going after?
I'm usually waiting on a QB. I'm usually waiting until around 10 or 11, snagging a guy like a Danny Dimes or someone like Brees or Brady would fall to that point. The reason I don't like taking Mahomes and Lamar in the second round is because I feel like if I pass up on a running back or receiver there, then it's just going to hurt my team the rest of the draft. I'm going to be feeling like, man, I could have upgraded my running back, upgrade my receivers. I'm just going to be feeling like there's a void on my squad.
And we have that debate. We've beat that debate like a dead horse. I'll go back and forth saying my 2 players will compete with your 2 players regardless of what positions we're drafting there. But like Rapper, what's your favorite QB approach then? If you're not taking Mahomes, you're not taking Lamar, like what's your favorite QB, 1 or 2 QB approaches?
I think Drew hit the tail on the Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes, okay. Couch?
There's several options. Some of you guys are in weird leagues where people take quarterbacks in round 1. I mean, if you look at ADP, some quarterbacks go late round 1, early round 2. In the leagues I'm in, the money leagues, you see Lamar Jackson and Mahomes go round 3. So late round 3, when they're available about half the time, I might consider taking them that early, but I tend to wait on quarterbacks. And I think one guy we didn't really talk about is Aaron Rodgers, who, is not the best quarterback this year, but he's falling. He's like free falling so much that, we saw, what was Alex Smith, QB4 when they drafted Mahomes? I just don't, people really think Aaron Rodgers is going to be like QB16 if he's healthy. That's unlikely. I don't think anyone can say that out loud. That's too much. I think he's a low-end QB1, and he might be able to get him as the 11th quarterback overall.
I love Rodgers at the value. So, Raj, what's your favorite QB strategy in fantasy? And it can't be Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, man. Hey, I go roll with Jimmy really, really, really late and let everybody laugh at the end of the day. No, that's not the strategy. I do like sometimes taking a Mahomes or Lamar early, but, you do miss out on a lot of talent, if you take them. But, Smitty, you're right. With your strategy of you get 2 guys that are going to get you 40, 50 points possibly a week on your first 2 picks, it's not a bad strategy. But if I wait, I like to kind of wait. Danny Dimes is a good pick. Sometimes Brees will fall to you really late. Tom Brady this year, he's going to be great value. Aaron Rodgers, I like that name too. He's really free falling. He's still a good quarterback. Still going to give you good production out in the quarterback position. There's just so much talent out there in all the other positions that, it's not always great to go for Lamar and Mahomes. But, hey, if you get those 2 guys, one of those 2 guys, you're going to be sitting pretty every week. You're going to get 50 points probably in most leagues. So, that's not a bad strategy. I just like to tend to wait. And I think Danny Dimes going to have a big season this year if he puts it all together.
I think he will, too.
If he doesn't put it all together, then you're just shitting yourself and you're like, could have taken Mahomes or something. That's the gamble you take.
Yeah, guides and Ari can answer this one. How good 1 year from today, when we're talking redraft, even 2 years from today, if you want to talk about both, where's Burrow ranking on this top 10 list?
I can't decide on Burrow. I hate that's a cop-out answer, but he had 1 season and it was phenomenal. But he does make me a little nervous. I don't have a good answer. I think he could be top 5 next year. I think he could be outside of the top 12. I'm really curious to see what Zach Taylor does with him. I think he will. I think he's in the right place for a quarterback. I think he's got the weapons. I think he's got the offensive-minded head coach. I'm just a little nervous of the small sample size from his resume.
Yeah, it's like he had 1 job on his resume, but he killed it. It's like,
did.
Damn, what do I do with this? Ari, then Rapper, then Couch on Burrow. I'd love to hear all 3 of your takes.
I get the small sample size, but at the same time, the situation wasn't great either in those previous years. So I have him as my QB 19 for this year. And then, if we're talking 2 years from now, I could see him top 10 and 12. I like his situation, and I mean, right now you got Green. He might not be there in a year or two, but then you got Boyd, Higgins, Nixon will be there. So I like his situation. They still have a really bad defense. They'll be throwing from behind a lot. So it's just a mixed situation. And then I like Zach Taylor. I think he'll put everything together and heading into year 2. So yeah, I like Burrow.
I like Burrow's attitude too. I feel like he's got the attitude that I want to see in my quarterback. I don't know why I'm so thrown off by Locke and the way Locke carries himself, but I just feel like it's a stark difference between the two. Rapper, talk a little closer to the mic. We're getting a lot of people saying there's a huge reverb because you're far away, maybe.
Or use headphones. I don't know.
But what do you think about Burrow?
I like Burrow a lot, actually. I think Ari touched on a lot of points. I think he's in the right system. He has weapons. I like Zach Taylor. I'm a believer. He was in a shitty situation last year. I think Burrow could be between top 5 and top 10 easily.
In a year,
he's
okay.
An underrated athlete, too, and he's very accurate with the football. And I think you touched on it. He's got the swag. I think so much of the quarterback is those intangibles that Russ, that Mahomes, that Brady have, that hit factor. I see that in Joe Burrow.
And Couch.
I think Burrow's gonna really push it. So next year we might be drafting him kind of like Kyle Murray, number 3 overall. I think maybe it could be number 17. It could be that bad. He's a risky guy, but I believe in him. I think it's gonna be closer to 3 than 17.
Wow.
He's gonna be slinging it. Look at how bad Jameis Winston was last year in real life, but he finished around QB5 or QB6, depending on.
And I like Higgins. Great spot for Higgins to develop with him.
They're not, the Bengals. Yeah, the Bungles. That they might screw this one up, and we just gotta wait and see. But one thing I'm confident in, they're gonna try their best not to screw it up and try to build around Burrow. When they draft a guy like this, they know how much this means to their franchise, their city. So they're gonna do everything in their power to do it up. Look at the Colts, man. They got a good squad, but they ended up somehow just barely screwing it up with Andrew Luck. And so the Bengals are gonna do their best not to have a situation like that. That's just one example, but they're gonna try not to.
And the Cardinals, I know firsthand that the Cardinals were in a black hole for a long, long time. You can climb out of it. Any team can, and I think Burrow's the kind of guy that can. Raj, and then Ari, you look like you wanted something to say. Raj, on Burrow, what are you thinking? Long term?
I love the kid. I think he's a good prospect. I think he was the best quarterback coming out of the draft. He's got a great mindset, and that's what I'm looking at on him. Is the intangibles are there. He wants to succeed. He's so confident in himself. When you have a quarterback that believes in himself, I think he can succeed. And everybody touched on it. They've got the weapons. They're putting him in a good environment. I think that he's going to succeed. I honestly think that he could be top 10 next season. If he puts it all together.
Top 3.
I don't know about top 3. I mean, that's a little crazy, but
don't do it.
Top 10. I think he'd be top 10 next season. But I mean, the receivers have to develop. Is AJ Green going to be healthy? Is Mixon going to continue to be, a productive player in the offense? So there are a lot of questions, but he has the skill set and the mindset. It's all up in the mindset for him to be an elite quarterback. I think he has the potential, but I think he's going to throw a lot of picks this season. Interceptions are going to be there. I remember Peyton Manning in his first season. I mean, this man threw so many damn picks, but he kept slinging it, and he learned. I think that's how Burrow's going to be this
Okay,
year.
I'm going to go around the circle here. I'll start with you, Ari, and if you wanted to touch on anything else, you could throw that in too. Biggest surprise at QB in 2020? Or you could say the future if you want to say, like if it was Burrow, you could use that and say, well, Burrow in 1 year. But biggest surprise in 2020, and it's got to be something kind of surprising.
Can you come back to me?
Yeah, Couch, you want to lead this one off? Or do you want me to come back to you? No one is ready for this.
Come back to me.
Guru. Oh, no, Guy. We'll go Guides, then Rapper. Guides?
I actually think Jared Goff could bounce back this year.
Oh.
And I don't know where all you guys have him ranked, but Winston, they threw the ball more than anybody last year. And the defense is not going to be much better. And his touchdown rate was, I think, the lowest of his career. He had a terrible touchdown rate, whereas in 2018, it was like double of what it was last year. So if that touchdown rate can climb back up and he can keep throwing it like he has been, I think he could be borderline QB1, whereas I think people are ranking him a lot further down than that.
Okay, that's bold. That's what I asked for. So don't mind the take a lap thing I have on the screen for you, but it but I do appreciate the boldness of that. And dude, you could be right. I mean, this is all subjective stuff. No one knows what's going on. Rapper,
somebody I had circled is like his touchdown rate was so bad last year, even though he threw the ball so much. I just think if that comes up,
it's not that bad, Smitty. I mean, he
Ra-
didn't say like Derek Carr or something.
I know. I'm just
like that.
I'm just kidding.
I didn't think it was that bold.
I know, guys. I appreciate it. I'm just kidding. I think it's bold, but I like it. Rapper.
I actually was thinking about Derek Carr. I know it's funny as that sounds, but they got some weapons. They got Ruggs, they got Braden Edwards trying to run for Waller. But actually, my guy is Sam Darnold. He's somebody I was big on last year. I don't think he's going to be quite the guy I thought he was going to be, but I do think the Jets made it their point to improve their offensive line, and he said to go bold.
Come a little closer.
This guy, what's this guy? Is it Perryman? He might be a slight upgrade over Robbie Anderson. You're gonna get Chris Herndon back. They still got Bell, and the main thing is the offensive line. Adam Gase likes to throw the football, so I just think he could be a sleeper. Definitely over guys like Minshew. I think he could be better than Locke and some of these other guys that we talked about.
And again, guys, I like it because it was bold. It was bold, so I like it. In Rapper, that's a good one. Ari, hit me with something.
We're about to get kicked off in like 20 seconds. So.
Okay. Quick, Ari.
Nice.
Quick, Ari.
I wasn't high on Cleveland last year, but I think Mayfield with Sketsy coming in will make him more efficient.
Couch. Oh, we lost it. Okay. Well, there you go. There you go. That was fun. Let me see if I can get my camera back to normal screen here. I'll have to zoom out later. But that was a good show. I appreciate those guys. If I had to finish that conversation and give you my bold take, so this is the top 10 quarterbacks that we came up with together. They're not my rankings. They're the consensus rankings. Of course, I have Mahomes number 1. If I had to come up with something bold, I would probably say, let me see if I can get Dr. Raj on here to finish out this combo. Dr. Raj, if you're around, dial in. Let's see. I need to open up Skype. If I had to go bold, Danny Dimes is definitely on my radar. Let me see if Dr. Raj will dial in. I'd have to say, if you guys got bold predictions, toss them out. I'm going to go ahead and say, if it's not Danny Dimes being a top 6-7 QB, I'm feeling Burrow. I'm feeling like Burrow could be a dynasty call here, where I would say Burrow would be a top 5 or 6 fantasy QB. I think I would, if I'm going to go dynasty or I'm going to go crazy bold, I'm going to go Burrow top 5 to 6 quarterback in one calendar year in terms of where you're drafting them. If I'm going to get crazy, I'm going to say that Lamar and Mahomes both, in hindsight, warrant top 10 overall picks. In hindsight, they'll warrant that. I think Mahomes is going to score over 50 TDs total. And I think Lamar is going to be right under him because of his rushing and all that. And I think these guys, in hindsight, my prediction is you won't be able to trade anybody but McCaffrey or Barkley straight up for Mahomes or Lamar by midseason. By midseason, and that's the thing that I love about talking about these quarterbacks, is where the true value sits when you're talking about Lamar and Mahomes. You only know the true value of these two players once the season's kicked off. Once the season's kicked off, and then you make trade offers, and you can't get either one of them for anybody outside the top 3 or 4 running backs, that's how you know that they were completely undervalued heading into the year. That's how you know that the average thinking of quarterbacks and where to take them is off base when you literally have a different value when the season's ongoing. Think about that for a second. Mahomes, you could draft at 18, 19 and get laughed at. Right? Am I right? But during the year, once week 1 kicks off, no one's going to trade you a player in the second round for Mahomes. No one's going to trade you a player in the second round that they drafted for Lamar. So what's that tell you? That tells you that people are undervaluing both Lamar and Mahomes when push comes to shove on draft day. So tell me where I'm off base by saying Lamar and Mahomes are steals in the second round. Because after week 1 kicks off, no one's trading you a Mahomes or Lamar for Mike Evans. No one's trading you Mahomes or Lamar for Leonard Fournette. No one's trading you any of that stuff for Mahomes or Lamar. They're untouchable in terms of that value range. So where am I off base by saying that Lamar and Mahomes are great values in the second round? It's crazy to me. So my bold prediction is that Lamar and Mahomes past McCaffrey and Barkley, maybe Zeke Elliott, maybe Mike Thomas. So 4 players. Past that, you won't be able to get a Mahomes or a Lamar on average via trade for anybody outside of those 4 names. That's my bold prediction for 2020. I don't know if Raj is going to jump on. Let's see if I can dial him up real quick. What's up, Dr. Raj? I don't know if you're trying to call or what. Sorry. So, I don't know if you heard the rant that I was just talking about, but my rant is this, and I think this is like, I find myself alone a lot of the time in the fantasy industry, Raj. I feel like you and I are more like-minded than most people I've run across. But most times, the quarterback debate, so I'm so by myself. It's a lonely place, Dr. Raj, debating the early quarterback approach. But as I was just saying, tell me where I'm wrong on this. If you can draft Mahomes or Lamar at like pick 18 and probably get laughed at in some cases, right? Because
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh my God." I don't have video of you, by the way. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
take your time.
I'll be on in a minute. Yeah, you keep going.
Yeah. So I mean, you could almost get laughed at by taking Mahomes or Lamar at what equates to 18, 19 overall value. But once the season starts, once week 1 kicks off, we get a feel for what the real value is. Because past McCaffrey, Barkley, Elliott, Mike Thomas, maybe 1 or 2 other players, you could argue, no one's going to trade you Lamar or Mahomes for anybody outside of those top 5 or 6 guys. And what's that tell you? That tells you that the draft value market for Lamar and Mahomes is not correct. Because during the year, you can't trade a Mike Evans for Lamar or Mahomes. And that's a second-round wide receiver. You can't trade a Leonard Fournette or a running back that you get in the second round for Lamar or Mahomes. No one will do that trade. So that tells you that the valuation in the offseason doesn't match the valuation during the in-season for Lamar Mahomes. And because people, when they're scoring points and actually in the midst of the season, you got to go with that value. So to me, I'm asking anybody in the chat, how am I wrong by saying that Lamar and Mahomes aren't good value, great value in the second round?
Yeah, I agree with that because like you said, man, the amount of points he's going to get you, the amount. It's like we said this last week when we were talking in Superior Live, and we said basically your first 2 picks, you want to build your team around. You want to have the most elite team you can have, right? And if your first 2 picks are going to be your cornerstone players, they're going to be the guys you count on every week to get you the bulk of your points. I mean, yeah, everybody else is going to contribute. It's a team. But your first 2 picks of fantasy need to be home run threats. Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes are going to put up stupid arcade Madden type numbers. They're going to put up those numbers every week. Like their value is in what they score. Like, yeah, you don't want to take a quarterback early. Okay, I get it. But guess what? When you're playing a guy that has Patrick Mahomes and he's dropping 50 points on you, and then his, let's say he has Saquon Barkley and he drops 40 points on you, that's 90 points. In a league, that's a lot of ground to make up with the rest of your team. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh yeah, It's stupid to pay Mahomes. But when you play him, you're cussing, you're screaming, you're yelling. Oh, I can't believe this guy has Mahomes. You want to be the guy that has Mahomes and beat everybody else. So I think it's not a bad thing. But you're right. People laugh at you. They think it's a dumb, tactic. But it's like I said, Peyton Manning back in the day. When he was coming into his own and he was just the number one fantasy, ranked number one overall, right? Kurt Warner. Remember that offense?
Kurt Warner was number one overall.
Yeah, those guys were crazy. They put up some stupid numbers. You have them on your team. And you get a 50-point advantage on every team when they play. It's just silly, dude. Like, yes, the rest of your team has to be good. You still.
I think the audio might be out.
But the thing with Lamar,
I don't know if you guys can hear. Keep talking, Dr. Raj.
So the
you're
thing
good.
with Lamar, like you said, is there's injury risk. If he runs out the pocket and he gets smacked in the mouth and hurts himself, and he's done. So I think Lamar has high upside, of course, great player, but Patrick Mahomes is definitely a more safer pick. So.
They can hear you, but I can't. I'm having this Zoom stuff really screws with all of my setup.
We can't go back on Zoom?
Boom. No, I got it. Okay, perfect. It was like jumping back and forth between my headphones, and Zoom really screws it up. All my settings get thrown off. So it's a fun debate for me, and I literally am by myself on it every offseason. But again, the best I can tell people is that think about that when you're trying to trade for Lamar and Mahomes. Why can't you get them for second round value when the season kicks off? It's because they actually are worth more. That to me is the best way to look ahead to figure out if you're doing the right evaluation for your draft. So if you say to yourself, once, like driving a car off the lot, Raj, if you drive a car off the lot and it loses 10 grand as soon as you drive off the lot, that car was evaluated way too high for a purchase price. But if you could drive it off the lot and lose almost no value, that's how I look at coming out of a draft. So if you look at a guy like Todd Gurley and you're drafting him in the third round, imagine trading him for a moment mid-season. Is anybody going to give you anything close to a third-round player in exchange for Todd Gurley? The answer is no. So why are you drafting a guy that's going to get you nowhere near that if you had to trade him? A guy like Mike Thomas is going to get you whatever you want later. Barkley, McCaffrey, Derrick Henry's an option that I think you could maybe get less for later. So he's a guy to worry about if you're going to draft him. It's going to be hard to trade him. People are going to be worried about him for whatever reason. I know you love Derrick Henry, and I'm not saying he can't do well, but he's another example of a player that I feel like has harder trade value once the season gets going. So there's a bunch of players like that have that value, and especially the case for Lamar and Mahomes. All right, man. Well, anything you want to close out on these quarterbacks? It went Lamar, Mahomes, Kyler, Dak.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo's going to be a top 10 quarterback. Mark my words.
Wilson, 5. Watson, 6. Josh Allen, 7. Brady, Brees, Ryan. Are you putting him ahead of Ryan and putting him right there at 10 then? Okay.
Yes, he will be. He'll be ahead of Ryan. Just mark my words.
You heard Dr. Raj. He definitely is a 49er guy. There's definitely some heart in that, but I respect it, and it's possible.
It's realistic. It's going to happen. It's not just possible, Smitty.
I put Danny Dimes at 10. You might bump Brady or Allen out or something like that in order to get both Garoppolo and Danny Dimes in there.
Danny Dimes would be like 12.
Okay.
I don't think he'll be. I don't know, man. I like Dimes, and I think he could be really good, but it's New York, man. New York is. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. Raj, are we going live Saturday?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's do it. Think of a topic. Right. What topic are you thinking?
Jimmy Garoppolo, top 10 quarterback. Let's talk about quarterbacks.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about.
You know what? Matt Miller last week, NFL Draft Scout, ranked Jimmy Garoppolo as the 4th best quarterback in the NFC West. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it. All right, man. Later, Dr. Raj.
In the conferences or something.
Yeah, definitely. We should do a Zoom call here too and do something like we talked about, where we get the most famous person on the Zoom call, and we just dial a couple people up, see if we can send that link out. Like I sent you that link, all you gotta do is spread the link out and then just see who pops in. So you just got to DM that link out, and then we'll go from there. But we'll do some kind of fun, random person. We don't know who's going to jump in the Zoom call type of debate. That might be fun.
Oh, man. Okay, let's see.
All right, Dr. Raj.
All right, man.
Later. Go follow Dr. Raj, guys. He's the man. All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for watching, and we'll do running backs or wide receivers or something next. But that was fun having a panel to debate top 10 QBs. You see them on the screen. These are not my rankings. These are the consensus from the expert panel that we just had on. My ranking would have been Mahomes, Lamar, Kyler, and then Watson, Wilson, or Wilson, Watson. That would be my top 5-ish. Subscribe, follow. Please hit the thumbs up on the way out. We only have 20 thumbs up in here from that whole show. Hit that thumbs up on the way out and comment once this video hits YouTube, and it'll have no comments. It'll be ready for me to answer your questions. So that's the best way to get access to me right away. Tell your friends, spread the word. Later.